We achieved more in 6 months than almost any administration could accomplish in 8 years, and we're going to have a lot of good 6 months left. We're going to have a 6 and another 6 and another 6, so we'll keep going.
New polling shows Americans largely opposed recent efforts by President Trump's administration to scale up its deportation program. A new CNN poll found that 55% of those surveyed say the president has gone too far when it comes to deporting undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. That is up 10 points since February. The survey also revealed a big political split, as 90% of Democratic-aligned adults now say that Trump's deportation policy has gone too far, while just 15% of Republican-aligned adults say the same.
Trump's 6 months of power, when toughness meets public limits. Introduction. A president who believes he outruns time, we've achieved more in 6 months than most administrations accomplish in 8 years. This bold statement from former President Donald Trump not only reflects his confidence, but also reveals how he perceives his presidency, a series of forceful, rapid breakthroughs. By compelling powerful institutions such as Congress, the courts, the media, and universities to bend to his will, Trump has cultivated a no-compromise image, but does this image translate into long-term public support? A new CNN poll offers a troubling answer. Despite early victories, approval ratings tell a different story, one of growing public concern. Part 1. The numbers never lie. CNN's newly released poll, taken at the 6-month mark of Trump's return to power, shows that only 42% of Americans approve of his handling of immigration. Even fewer 40% support his deportation policies. Alarmingly, 55% believe Trump has gone too far, marking a 10-point increase in just a few months. The figures become even more stark when broken down. Increasing ICE's budget by billions, only 31% support it. Ending birthright citizenship, building new detention centers, and detaining undocumented immigrants with no criminal record, all poll under 30%. Overall, 53% say current immigration policies do not make the U.S. safer. Another red flag. 58% of respondents believe the federal government is not following the law properly when deporting people, a number even higher than in April. Part 2. The price of being tough. Experts argue that Trump's speed and ruthlessness in executing immigration policy may be backfiring. Using wartime authority to deport Venezuelans to El Salvador, including individuals like Salvadoran national Abrego Garcia, drew outrage, even from Trump supporters like Joe Rogan. Public backlash intensified when it was revealed that many deportees had no criminal records. Reports indicate that only a small fraction of deportees have been convicted of crimes. The majority face either minor immigration infractions or even unresolved traffic violations. These details have forced many to ask, who exactly is being targeted, and is this how justice should look? Such sweeping policies risk eroding the administration's legitimacy by portraying it as cruel and indiscriminate, a perception that could cost dearly at the ballot box. Part 3. Voices from the ground. Disillusionment grows. In multiple focus groups, even Republican voters who supported Trump express hesitation. I'm not so sure about deporting the gardener down the street. He's hardworking and decent, said one. Comments like this are becoming increasingly common. While a significant portion of the Republican base still backs Trump's immigration agenda, the consensus is cracking, especially in suburban communities that rely heavily on immigrant labor. The hardline approach is being questioned for its real-world consequences. What once was a badge of strength is now being seen by many as a sign of unnecessary overreach. Part 4. Economy. The second front of trouble. Immigration isn't the only area where Trump's approval is eroding. The economy, is showing signs of vulnerability. Only 40% of Americans approve of his economic leadership. His landmark domestic policy bill passed through Congress with much fanfare garners just 39% public support. What's more, Trump's frequent threats to impose tariffs on foreign nations raise red flags. Tariffs act as taxes on U.S. consumers, and traditionally, Republican voters oppose such interventions. Should trade negotiations with the EU and others collapse and the tariffs go into effect, his already weak economic approval could suffer a further blow. Part 5. Power Dynamics. Why Trump still holds the cards. Despite the sagging national approval, Trump remains in control of the Republican Party and its machinery in Congress. Why? In large part due to gerrymandering, which allows lawmakers to focus solely on pleasing their core base rather than the general electorate. As long as Republican voters remain loyal, Trump can continue pushing his agenda with little resistance from his party. This means that even if the broader American public is outraged, Trump's internal power remains intact, at least for now. Part 6. Public Response. What are Americans really waiting for? This raises a deeper question. Are Americans witnessing a cycle of single-party overreach, as seen in past political shifts? Political analysts warn that when one party gains full control, it often pushes too far too fast, triggering backlash. In today's context where immigration raids are televised, detention budgets are skyrocketing, and economic gains are unclear, many Americans are starting to ask, how does this help me? Trump's strongest supporters may not be swayed, but the broader middle is becoming uneasy. Conclusion. The fight is far from over. There's no doubt, Trump has accomplished a lot in 6 months. But whether those achievements translate into lasting support remains uncertain. Public sentiment is shifting. Assertiveness without compassion, power without transparency risks alienating even those once on your side. In politics, 6 months can launch a presidency but never define it. The numbers speak for themselves. If Trump fails to adjust course, the next 6 months may be far less triumphant than he imagines. The key takeaway from this unfolding power play: public support cannot be commanded through force. It must be earned through justice, clarity, and consensus.